Hi friends, as always I'm very excited to see you here. If you're meeting for the first time, I'm Shankar Pandey and this is the Dr. USP channel. I host videos on media, communication, research and statistics on this channel. To stay updated with the latest on this channel, I urge you to consider subscribing to the channel. One of the important elements of layout is text and the other is picture. We also have to take care of the white space. We can work with images and make text flow around those, and that's where text wrapping comes in. Let's see Adobe InDesign with USP layout in this video. We also have to be conversant with the use of styles, character styles, paragraph styles and object styles in layout design. In an earlier video, we've seen how to flow in text from a Word file, for example, using the file, place or a Ctrl-D command. And I can flow in text from wherever I've saved the Word file. So this is the text that I have on my tabloid sheet here. So Ctrl-0 for the fit in window view and Ctrl-1 for the actual view. So let's start working on this. If I want to change the number of columns here, I'll just need to right click, text frame options, and here are the number of columns. So here I can see is 1. If I need 3 columns here, I can just change it to 3 columns. The gutter, the space between the columns is 3 millimeters. I can also balance it. If I require, I can just put in inset spacing here, which will bring in the text inside the text box. So if I require that, I can do that. If I preview, if I can see, then this is coming inside the text box. We can see that there is some space between the lines. So if I just click in here and if I come here, I can see that this is the option for the space after. So the space after every paragraph here is 3.258. So I'll have to remove that. So for example, I do not require any space after, or just a 0 will do here. So now there is no space in the paragraphs, and as we've seen earlier, we can also have the first line indent. So the first line indent, we want it to be 6, for example. So these are the things that we know. So we have 2 pictures over here. This one with the edges. So this is a transparent background and I have flown the picture here. So I want the text to wrap around this picture and also around this logo. If I flow in this picture here, we can see that it's flowing around and it's in a rectangular format. If I just bring in closer, we can see that the text is in a rectangular format. And for that, we'll have to work on the text wrap, which we can see here. A number of options. So we can either have no text wrap. So if I click onto the no text wrap, then this picture is just on the top of the text and it's not flowing around, as we can see. We can have a text wrap here around the bounding box, and since the bounding box, as we can see, is a rectangle, the text is flowing outside the rectangle. We can also use this option, wrap around object shape, and if I alt click this, I'll get a number of options here. So we'll have to use this. So whether we want to wrap around the object shape, now we can see text is just touching onto these edges, and for that we need to put in a offset. It can be top and bottom. I can just make it the same, so I can have both as 3, for example. So now I can see that the text is having some space around this logo, and if I just press an W, I can see this is how it looks like. This is a very effective way of putting in pictures within the text. There are many other options in the text wrap as well, so let me just demonstrate one to you. So if I just click in this once again, I can wrap it to both the left and right sides. As we can see that we have selected the subject here. We can wrap it to the right side only, and there we'll see that the text is wrapping only to the right side. So here's wrapping only on the right side. I can wrap it on the left side only, and here I can see that's wrapping on the left side also. I can also wrap it in the largest area. So here it will wrap around the largest area. So this area it's not wrapping around. Depending on the design that you have in mind, you can have both right and left sides. We might also have pictures like this one, and if I bring it here, I can see that right now the no text wrap has been selected. So if I select like earlier, wrap around object shape, here there are many options. If I just, for example, use subject, then it will come very close to the edges, as you can see, and for that I'll have to increase the offset. As you can see here, this offset is seen on the edges here. But if I select the bounding box here, then only the bounding box is a rectangle. So then it will just take the rectangle. So for text wrapping effectively, I'll have to use either the alpha channel or the subject, or at times we might use same as clipping. So if I use alpha channel, I can easily flow in the text around this image. So we've demonstrated how to bring in these cutouts inside texts and how to work around it. I want to crop it, I can do that as well. There are other things that we can do with the paragraph. So for example, if I just go into this again, and if I go to Windows, type in utilities, and there's the paragraph, and the shortcut for that is Control Alt T. So we'll have to remember that this is something that we'll have to keep working on. So this is what I get here. This is about the paragraph. Let's take this particular line first, the internet, and let's make it a little bigger. As we can see that since hyphenate is selected here, this particular line is being hyphenated here. If I remove this, then it will go on to the next line. Now there are many things that we can do here. There is this option that we must be careful about. So if we just click here, we get a number of options, and one important option here is the span option. So right now we can see that this particular thing is spanning a single column. I can make it span more than one column. So if I make it span, for example, 2 columns, if I press in the preview here, I can see that this text is spanning 2 columns now, that this is extending to 2 columns. So the similar line, the same line inside the paragraph has now been made to span more than one line. We can again go there, span columns. We can just use 2. If we press OK, we'll see that it is now into these 2 columns. We can also shade this. If I just select it, and for example, I can have, so I can use shading here. We can, if required, we can change this setting here. So this is black here. If I want, I can change the color. So I can see that just by working on the shading here, we can do that. We can bring a border to the selected thing here. If I just select it, I can see that there's a border here. This is a very simple way of creating borders here. We can also work on the story editor here. We can edit this with the story editor. We'll go to edit, edit in story editor. So we can bring the story editor wherever we are comfortable with. So I can bring it a little here. If I hold it here, then it will just take the entire space. So I'm bringing it here. So we can see that the entire thing, which is whatever is there in this picture, is here as well. The things which are outside this text frame are in red here. So this is outside the text frame. So whatever changes I make here, for example, if I make this bold here inside the story editor by shifting Ctrl Shift B, I'll see that it has changed over to bold here. If I remove certain things here, for example the new electronic media, etc., I can just delete here. We'll see that it's being deleted here as well. So this is a very easy way of editing on the page itself, because I can see the entire story here, because otherwise this part is not here in this text frame, that's outside there, and that is not visible, and I might not know how much text is outside. So this helps me see how much text is outside the text frame, and I can just close it. So this is the text frame, and the additional text frame we could see on the story editor as well. Another thing that we can work on is this yellow square here. So if I click to edit, if I can use that too. As you can see that we have been able to bring in rounded corner here, and if I want to bring it back, I'll just come back to this, alt click, I can just take it back here. Now the text is back to its shape. We'll come back with styles and other things in the next video.
Thanks for staying along, friends. As always, it has been a delight having you here. I'll be back with another video very soon. Till then, have a great time.